Almost a year after the release of TimeSplitters in October 2000, Free Radical Design is currently working hard on its sequel, TimeSplitters 2, a title they had announced only 4 months earlier. With the first game, they were just finding their feet, as David Doak explains, but now they can show people what they're really capable of doing. And it's with this idea in mind that David Doak and Steve Ellis prepared themselves for a trip to the United States for a press day in which they will present their new game to journalists from IGN and GameSpot among others. With a disc of TimeSplitters 2 made for the occasion, David Doak and Steve Ellis board their flight the next morning. Everything seems normal, but as they are in mid-air over the Atlantic, a plane crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York, and a second plane crashes on the South Tower only a few minutes later. The United States airspace is shut down, and international flights headed for the US are redirected. Their flight ends up turning around and flying back to London. The press day is cancelled, but fortunately they will be able to travel to the United States only 2 weeks later for a meeting in Eidos Interactive's offices in San Francisco. This tragedy affected the two developers personally, but later it would affect their game as well. TimeSplitters 2 released in the fall of 2002, and the least we can say is that Free Radical Design really did show the world what they were capable of. It was a big improvement on the first game, receiving general acclaim from the critics and several awards. The game is still remembered today for the amount of memorable content it offered. But like most games of its era, TimeSplitters 2 also came with its share of mysteries and unexpected discoveries. One of them is known as Twin Blocks.
We had an idea for a deathmatch level based on the Block Wars from Judge Dredd. It was going to have this kind of Twin Towers thing, which would have been a totally different dynamic, but obviously that got wiped off the board.
The name Twin Blocks appeared in the files of some early demo builds of the game, and is, from what we know, a level that was inspired by the Mega Blocks from the Judge Dredd comics. There was even a Judge Dredd story titled Twin Blocks that was published in 1991, which some people at Free Radical might have read given the comic's popularity in the UK. But Twin Blocks was also based on the World Trade Center, as Steve Ellis made a direct comparison with it in 2006.
For TimeSplitters 2, we wanted to have an assault on the World Trade Center. We thought shooting across between the Twin Towers would really work. Then 9/11 happened. Suddenly, it didn't seem like such a good idea.
Having players shoot each other across two buildings would have been an interesting concept, and it's understandable that they had to remove the level from the game due to its similarities with the Twin Towers. But sometimes, some ideas are too good to be scrapped entirely. Chasm is one of the 16 arcade levels available in TimeSplitters 2. The level takes place in a dark mine and features two large buildings facing each other, connected by 3 bridges that the player can use to cross the large chasm in the middle of the map. When compared with the description of Twin Blocks, it seems like Chasm shares the same concept, but with a very different execution. It is possible that Chasm was made to replace it, and there are good reasons to believe it since its internal name in the retail version of the game is Twin Blocks. As mentioned earlier, this is a name that appeared a few times in early demo builds of TimeSplitters 2, but it was absent in the files of later demo builds, in which the name Chasm was starting to make appearances. On top of that, Chasm did not appear in pre-release screenshots of the game, and when journalists from IGN got to play the arcade mode in July 2002, the map was nowhere to be seen in the level roster. It's the only arcade level that doesn't have its own music, using the one made for Hangar instead. All these details make Chasm seem like a level that wasn't planned to be in the game at first, and was only added late in development as a replacement to Twin Blocks. Since we needed confirmation that this theory is correct, we messaged Steve Ellis about it, and he was able to confirm it.
Hi there. Yes, I don't remember many of the details, but your theory is correct.
We may never see what Twin Blocks looked like, but its concept managed to survive through Chasm, and its story serves as a reminder of how real-world tragedies can affect even the most light-hearted pieces of entertainment.